Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Listen, this is going to be a bit of an urgent update. I'm going to shoot this video here late in the afternoon, as you can see here. I'm going to get it home. I'm going to get it edited, but it probably won't get out to the YouTube reverse until sometime in the wee hours of the morning. So you'll probably be catching this video approximately one day after I shot it. But there are some really urgent updates I need to give you about this video right here. You see, I and several others have made some pretty bold and brash claims about RifleRemedy2000, and I think I have an absolute moral obligation and duty to clear the record, which is exactly what we're going to do today. So today, we're going to spend a few very important minutes talking about the real RifleRemedy2000 has come forward, and he has lots of interesting things to say. Okay, so the subject matter that we're talking about today is a video that we did yesterday, and this was based on an assumption that I made that with so many individuals around the country getting these nasty little ATF letters or having ATF agents visit them on their FRT wide open trigger scavenger hunt, it was shocking how many of them had purchased from a GunBroker account called RifleRemedy2000. I and several other so-called experts in this field all began to point fingers at RifleRemedy2000 as being likely an ATF account. I said myself on the video that when there's that much smoke, there has to be fire somewhere. Now, in the description box of that video, I put a disclaimer in there, and I want to read this disclaimer, and then I want to tell you about what happened. The disclaimer read, disclaimer, RifleRemedy2000, if you are in fact a real person, contact us privately, and we will gladly take this video down and correct the record. Well, I just got off the phone with a young man who we are going to call Carl. Carl is not his real name, but he is in fact a real person. Carl is a 21-year-old sophomore at a major state university, a very prestigious major state university. So he obviously is a bright young kid. He obviously is academically well-versed because he is attending, as I mentioned, a very good university. Now, like many kids going through college, the funds are tight. The family doesn't have the resources to send them through college all the way. So Carl has begun looking for additional ways to make money as a college student. Now, obviously you have to keep your studies up, so if you can find forms of passive income or ways to make money involving little to no time, that works best for college students. Now, Carl comes from a long family of lifetime firearm owners. The kid grew up with guns all around him. He understands every platform of firearm. He's a bit of a gun geek. And so he really understands firearms exceptionally well. And he understands how to buy low and sell high on the open market for all sorts of items related to firearms. He started, now I want you to know, this comes from the notes that I took. I had a phone conversation with him. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes because I want to get this information correctly, because I am going to clear RifleRemedy2000's name today, okay? And I want to talk to you about some other things that I've understand has happened. He began this account. If you go back and you look, you will find this account was created in August of 2020. August of 2020 is when the account was conveyed, about the same time that this guy headed off to college. Now, he realized somewhere in 2021 that these rare breed triggers and these wide open triggers, there was the ability to go out and buy them in bulk, buy them at low, sell them at high, use the markup as a form of revenue to help support his college. He did sell quite a few of these, okay? He readily admits that he sold these. Now, let us remember that when Carl was selling these, there was nothing unlawful about his purchase of them. There was nothing unlawful about the resale of them. There was absolutely nothing to suggest that anything was unlawful about what he was doing, and that's really important, okay? However, in March of this year, he received a visit from local law enforcement in the jurisdiction he lives. Again, I'm not going to tell you that, as well as ATF agents. Now, it was not one of these, hey, we want to talk to you visits. No, they showed up with a search warrant, okay? And this was a complete and absolute search of his residence and his automobile. Now, during the course of that search, they confiscated many components, including some FRTs, but they also confiscated optics and other things that obviously were not firearms, okay? They confiscated all of his electronics, so his laptops, his tablets, his phones, you name it. And then he also had a bunch of P80 kits, and we got a video coming out on polymer 80 kits and other 80% lower kits, and we're not going to bore you with those details now. But they ended up taking quite a few items from him. Now, he inquired what this was about, and they would not give him a straight answer. Shockingly, the ATF would not give him a straight answer. They just said that this was firearms related. And, you know, since they weren't there looking for tobacco or alcohol, I think we probably could have all figured that out. They really were only there approximately 20 to 30 minutes, which is a very quick search, okay? And now, again, he might have had a smaller piece of property. Last time I checked, most college kids aren't living in 4,500 square foot mansions unless they have Greek letters on the front of them. So, you know, I don't want you to read anything into that. Now, here's the thing. They wanted his passwords to all of his accounts, all of his computers, all of his devices, okay? And Carl refused to give those passwords up, okay? That means he did not allow access to the ATF to access his sales files, okay? Now, all of these sales were done through GunBroker, and my understanding is that GunBroker.com does a really good job of maintaining sales and shipping records. And if I was engaged in that business, I would do the same thing. Now, approximately 1 week after service of the search warrant, Carl received a cease and desist letter from the Department of Justice stating that he was no longer permitted to sell any firearms on GunBroker. So Carl's ability to earn a living has been significantly impacted by this investigation. Now, in the meantime, though, ATF has wanted to speak with Carl's girlfriend, and they have gone to every other residence that he's lived in that general community, all the rental properties that he's had during that time, to talk to the current people inhabiting those places as to whether or not they have any dirt on Carl, which inevitably they will not. Now, there are a few things I want to clear up, and then there's a couple of things I want to ask of you, the lawful and responsible gun owner out there. First of all, there is a lot of urban legend kicking around that this kid sold as many as 3,000 forced reset triggers. Carl tells me that is he's adamant that is incorrect, that he sold nowhere near that. Now, did he sell many of these? He most certainly did. Would he commit to a number? No, he wouldn't, and I was only going to press him so far. But he says that the number is way less than 3,000. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to be aware of. The second thing is in the last couple of weeks, Carl has started getting letters from people who purchased directly from him stating that they are now receiving nasty little ATF letters. Now, what this means is, let's back it up here for a minute. We remember that when the ATF seized all the electronics from Carl's place, he declined to give them the passwords, which means ATF has obtained the sales records one of two ways. Either A, they have successfully hacked into the electronic devices, which is entirely possible, or B, they are getting the sales records from GunBroker.com directly. Now, do I believe that GunBroker is cooperating in this investigation? No, I do not. Carl, who really knows the folks at GunBroker, has done a lot of business through him. He is also of equal belief that GunBroker is not cooperating with this investigation. Is it possible that they're being served with subpoenas or subpoena duces tecums, which are compelling that information to be turned over to ATF? That is possible, but I do not have any information one way or the other. Carl mentioned that another seller who really primarily dealt with wide open triggers in the same state that he is in has also received nasty correspondence from the ATF, but he has not received a search warrant, nor has his place been raided. But his purchasers are also beginning to contact him, stating that obviously ATF has the purchase information for that. Now listen, this is the most important thing, and this is the point I need you all to take away from this, okay? I was wrong. I said in that description box, if I was wrong, I would admit to it, and I'm admitting to it now. I was wrong. RifleRemedy2000 is a real person. And candidly, it's a young guy just trying to pay his way through college, okay? That's the truth of what's going on here. The other thing I want you to be aware of is that apparently some people have discovered this young man's personal information. They have publicized it. They are continuing to make it public in the hopes of doxing this kid. Okay, this is a form of cancel culture which those of us on the political right will not stoop to that level. So I am kindly asking everybody out there, if you have turned your vile or turned your hatred towards Rifle Remedy 2000, knock it off right now. If you have posted information about this kid, take it down right now. If you have given information to people about this kid, you contact those people and you tell them to leave this kid alone. We, as a Second Amendment community, is better than that. So, like I promised, if there were updates, I would give them to you. And if Rifle Remedy 2000 turned out to be a real person, we would, in fact, take this video down and provide you with updates. Folks, Rifle Remedy 2000 is a real person. He's a young man just trying to get his way through college. At the time that he was engaged in this activity, what he was doing was absolutely legal. It is no different than the same activity that many of you engaged in. I am asking all of you, leave this kid alone. Listen, you may have more questions about this issue or anything else related to your Second Amendment rights, and if you do, don't ever hesitate to contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or of course you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner is by not doxing people, but it also comes with knowing what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.